Welcome to WA This Week, Episode 4. This is ANZAC Week. I wish you could accompany me around the electorate as I attend so many ANZAC services, especially those at our primary schools. From these heart-moving ceremonies I saw last year, our children have a deep understanding of the sacrifice and service of our veterans. They understand remembrance, not as a ritual, but as a responsibility. This is, of course, very personal for me because I was an Army officer for 18 years. Initially as a very young boy out of the Royal Military College Duntroon, then into infantry and then the Intelligence Corps as a major. I have been very fortunate to visit almost all the defining places of Australian military history. Gallipoli, the Western Front, Greece, Malaya, Singapore, New Guinea and Vietnam. I have trekked and traced the routes of escaped prisoners of war in Slovenia, France and Crete, often over hundreds of kilometres. Of all these experiences, one stands out above the rest. It is a small French primary school called Villers-Bretonneux. Its village was rebuilt with funds raised by schoolchildren from Victoria in the 1920s. Today, children play in that schoolyard under the emblazoned banner with a simple but powerful message: do not forget Australia. We owe a duty to the 100,000 others buried on foreign soil to preserve what they died for, which was their families, their country, and their individual freedoms, which is why the battle to retain the spirit of the Australian settlement as a beacon of democracy, liberty, and freedom must be won. And while we are on this important subject, I wanted to bring to your attention the proposed selling of Irwin Barracks in Karrakatta within the Netherlands electorate. Irwin Barracks is the home of Western Australia's 13th Brigade. There are only 8 brigades in the Australian Army. Our 13th Brigade is the only brigade in the western half of Australia. It has a skeleton staff of around 1,000, but when mobilised would expand to over 5,000. This includes all the components of military services: infantry, artillery, engineers, communications, medical, intelligence, and much, much more. It's not just a base, but a strategic reserve of mobilisation. Its size reflects its purpose. In times of crisis, it must expand rapidly, perhaps many times over, to train and train further follow-on forces. If we have a crisis requiring national mobilisation, where would we turn? Have we reached a point in history where peace is guaranteed? From what we see today in the world, peace is never guaranteed. If this vital site was bulldozed for housing, what would replace it as our insurance policy? It is proposed the brigade would move to Palmer Barracks in Guildford, a site completely underdeveloped, netting hundreds of millions of dollars spent on training facilities, secure communications, sleeping accommodation. All these things that currently exist at Karrakatta. And oh yes, Palmer Barracks is in the flight path, so drone training, that'll be ruled out. Drones are coming pretty central to modern warfare. What would you want? Would you want to constrain training for modern warfare? No, I think this is a case of a society that is sleepwalking and considers the military somehow an irrelevance, something remnant. Let me finish with Rudyard Kipling's Barrack poem. He wrote, "Tommy this, and Tommy do that. Oh, Tommy, go away. But it's hello, Mr. Atkins, when the band begins to play. We're quick to overlook our soldiers in times of peace, but quick to rely on them in a time of crisis. We will need Irwin Barracks when the band begins to play." Have a meaningful ANZAC weekend, lest we forget.